The storm outside raged violently, rattling the windows of the old Victorian house perched on the edge of the cliff. Inside, the dim glow of a desk lamp illuminated a cluttered study where renowned author Victor Lancaster sat hunched over his typewriter. His fingers trembled as they pressed the keys, his breath shallow. A knock at the door startled him. Victor hesitated, glancing at the manuscript beside him. The final pages were yet to be written, but the story was clear. A man, alone in his study, murdered in the dead of night by an unknown visitor. The details matched his own situation far too perfectly. He shook off the paranoia and stood, making his way cautiously to the door. As he reached for the handle, the knock came again, louder this time. His heart pounded. When he finally opened the door, no one was there. Only the howling wind and rain greeted him. He stepped out, peering into the darkness, but found nothing. Shaken, Victor returned to his study, locking the door behind him. He sat back down, staring at the last lines he had typed. The writer turned back to his desk, believing himself alone, but the killer was already in the room. A creak behind him made the hairs on his neck stand on end. Slowly, he turned. The shadows in the corner of the room seemed to shift, and in that instant he realized the terrifying truth. Someone was there. A silhouette emerged from the darkness, a glint of silver catching the dim light. Victor barely had time to scream before the blade met its mark. The next morning, his body was discovered slumped over his desk, his unfinished manuscript beside him. The last line, typed in fresh ink, read, "The writer never saw the final twist coming." But Victor had not written those words, and the killer was never found.